Hi guys, welcome back. It's me again. So in this video, we are going to look at the sense of design for our website. Now I've mentioned earlier that if you have joined us in our UI UX workshop, then you should know the sense of design for our mobile application. So if you didn't join us in that workshop or you didn't watch the video yet, I suggest you to go watch it first before this one, as I won't repeat the points mentioned in that video. The link to the video will be the first link in the description, so please check out on that before you continue on this. So now let's have a look on what will be discussed in this video. Now we are just going to highlight some of the more important things and some that are kind of exclusive for a website. So the first thing that I wanted to highlight is typography. Specifically your sentences, your paragraphs, your sizes, and your white space, the empty space. Then the next thing is again highlighting from the four golden rule of UI design principles, which are mentioned and explained by our instructor Carl in the Sense of Design Part 1 during our UI UX workshop. And this point that I wanted to highlight is reducing cognitive load. So we'll be focusing on the term simplicity. And we are also going to talk about conventionality, which is another way of saying that don't reinvent the wheel. Essentially, this is saying that we should not try to go the opposite way of the design trend. I mean, you can try, but I think you will see the result of it sooner or later. And the last thing is going to be responsivity. So, responsive design. Now, let's move on and we'll talk about typography. So, I've said that we are going to look at the sentences, the paragraphs, the sizes, and the white space. Well, actually, those four are interconnected. So, it's actually one thing, and that is how you organize your content on your website. And for this, we will be explaining those four things: the sentences, the paragraphs, the sizes, and the white space with some example from my previous subject. So if you look at this website, it is built on Wix. It's not WordPress, but websites are websites. So we just look at the same thing. So this is built by one of my friends, and if you look at this website, I mean, no offense, but I won't read through it. So for this one, we have to, it's kind of like simplicity in the way that we need to try to keep our content as simple as possible. But at the same time, we need to convey the message. So for me, when I go to this website and I look, the first is just two very long paragraphs, and then I've got two more paragraphs here, and then three more here, three more here, and these are kind of like a paragraphs or so, and it's quite, I just get bored of this very quickly. And there's also not much white space. I mean, we have white space on the left and on the right, and that's usual, but there's not much empty space between the sections. So it is quite tiring if I really read through it. And normally users are not reading through it. So how we view a website is like we just glance through it, we just scanning it, and we are not actually reading every words on it. So just try to keep the essence of your paragraphs and make it into sentences. So now I'm going to show you another example, which is also built by my friend, and this is the one. This is not the world leading class design, but it's better in a lot of ways than the one I've shown. Also, I have this paragraph, but I kind of want to read through it. And you can see that although it's a different topic, but the paragraphs are considerably shorter and the fonts are bigger. So this is the concern about the sizes, and you can see the white space here, and the paragraphs is not very long, and also you can see a clear topic, a clear subtitle, and the clear paragraphs. So this is why sizes are so important, and also the white space. So I feel like this is really thoroughly designed website, and it engages me to try to read all of this. It's still a lot of words, but I wanted to read all of this. So that is for typography. And next, we are going to simplicity. So what I wanted to highlight here for simplicity is trying to reduce the cognitive load of the user. And the meaning of this is that you take the thinking process away from your user. So you let them think as less as possible. Well, this might cause you to misunderstand something. But what I wanted to say is that you use the visual elements, the visual representations to guide your users in navigating throughout your website. And of course, we wanted our user to understand our content. So what we want is that other than understanding and digesting the content on our website, we try to reduce the thinking, we try to move away the cognitive load of the users. That way they can just put their focus on the content itself and not on trying to understand how to navigate through the website. Now, conventionality. Don't reinvent the wheel. Don't try to go oppose the design trend. So for this, I'm going to start with an example. Alright, so you might know that Google has redesigned some of their logos. Now, imagine Google is doing the same thing for all of their websites, redesigning them. And in the process of doing so, they move the top navigation bar to the bottom of the page. So it becomes a bottom navigation bar. So all the visual elements and navigation like the company's logo or apps icon, your profile picture, and I think the most important one, your search bar. All of these being moved to the bottom of the pages. Now, this is a bit far-fetched, but the consequences are roughly the same. So try to imagine how the page will look like and try to think what you would do. Now for me, I'm gonna be very honest with you. I'll look for another search engine. So it's not about me making something up, but ultimately you really can push your users, your audience away from your website. Now, the reason behind this is that we are so accustomed to the design trend. We are so used to the main navigation being at the top or at the left side of a page. And we are so used to the logo being positioned at the top left or the top center of the page together with the main navigation bar at most of the time. There's actually a list of which you try to follow as much as you can to suit the convention. Now, we are not going to list out the conventions here because it's going to be quite a list, but we are going to talk about some of the consequences of not having conventionality on your website. So the first one, like what I said, and this is the worst case scenario, which is the user straight up left the page, like what I would do if Google really redesigned it that way. And then if your users are staying, then there's another problem. You are adding cognitive load to the users, which from what we've mentioned earlier is what we are trying to avoid as much as possible. Alright, so these are some of the direct consequences of not following the conventions. And that's all from me in this video, and I'll explain on responsibility in the next video. I'll post the links to some of the articles that I found online about designing guidelines in the description. So do check it out if you are interested in this, and I'll see you guys later in the next video. Bye!